G'day folks, and welcome to another episode of Kindness Pandemic TV, a show dedicated to entertaining, educating and supporting you, the viewer. My name's Tom, and with me, as always, I've got my good mate and all-round top bloke, Damien Cole. How are you, bro?
Good, mate. Thanks, and hello to the viewers out there. How's your Monday been, mate?
Yeah, very well, and I think the birds are trying to say hello as well, if you can hear them in the background there. Anyway, look, we'll get started. We've got a great show for you today, but before we do, we'd just like to pay our respects to the traditional landowners of this country, the Wadawurrung people. Of course, we always like to pay our respects to the traditional landowners, not just in Australia, but outside, so worldwide as well. And we're aware of the elders, past, present, and emerging there. So thanks to everyone for being here today. We'll get started. Damo, what's in store, bro?
Yeah, today we've got another great show, and it is Monday. You may have been, gone back to work, or you are stuck at home working. You've had a big weekend. So we've actually got Thaedra, who's going to come on and do a full, I guess it's a mindfulness flow. So it's quite a simple kind of flow that will kind of realign your energy. And it's a very simple kind of easy thing to get into. Great for beginners, great for people like myself who aren't great with yoga or anything. So let's jump across to Thaedra now and see what she's got.
Hello everyone, and thank you to Tom and Damo and the Kindness Pandemic TV for having me on the show today. My name's Thaedra, and I'm here to guide you through a 45-minute yoga, gentle movement and mindfulness session. So you're going to need a couple of things: a comfy spot where you've got a little bit of room to move. If you have a yoga mat, then pull that out. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can use a towel or a blanket, or you might have a nice patch of grass. If it's a nice sunny day, you might like to be outside. You'll also need a couple of cushions or a couple of blankets or folded towels so that you can use those as props. And for those of you who may have some trouble balancing today, or you have some injuries, then you might like to grab a chair. And a chair is also useful for the beginning, where we're going to be sitting and just tuning in. So we really want to be comfortable. So if it's not comfortable for you to sit even elevated on the ground, then by all means use a chair. So I'll give you a bit of time to go and grab those things, and we'll rejoin in a moment. So finding yourself in a comfortable seat. Now I'm elevated on a cushion so that my knees are a little bit lower than my hips here. So what happens there is it means that all the inner thigh muscles and the internal muscles are able to relax, and my spine is able to naturally lengthen. It also means that I can sit firmly on my sitting bones and centered on my sitting bones. So I invite you just to notice your seat and to bring your weight from side to side, just feeling where the balance is across your sitting bones, and forward and back. So you might find you're really tilted forward towards your pubic bone, or you're really tilted back towards your tailbone. So we want to find somewhere in the center, so you feel like you have a really steady foundation. From there, we'll give our feet a little pressure into the mat. So we're just giving them a little bit of movement and a little shake of the legs, so that the legs and the feet are relaxed. And then we've relaxed our arms beside us. Give our shoulders a little wriggle, and then let the hands rest on the thighs. Before we begin the practice, I just invite you to notice your breath throughout the practice and to really honour your own needs. So if you find that your breath is laboured, then it might be that that posture is just a little bit much at this point in time, and you could take a step back and wait for the next posture. And if there's anything that you don't want to do, then you could just stay in the posture before, or you can just take a comfortable position and just really stay there and notice your breath. To begin with, we're going to bring one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly, if that's comfortable for you. So the idea here is that we can start to notice the movement of our breath in our body. And there's no need to change our breath, you just want to keep your breath as it is. And it will change throughout the practice. So I invite you to notice the sensation of your hands on your skin or on your clothing. And we'll take a breath, just letting our tongue rest in the lower palate, our belly and chest expands on the in-breath. And a long breath out through the mouth. That breath out is kind of like air coming out of a balloon slowly. So again, we'll allow that in-breath. And one more of those. We keep the shoulders relaxed, the tongue resting in the lower palate. I'll invite you to close your eyes and to acknowledge with me the traditional custodians of the land that we're gathered on today. I am sitting on Wadawurrung country. And to pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to Indigenous people all over for their care and connection to country. I'd also like to acknowledge all of you and to express my gratitude for just practicing with you today. Let's bring our hands down and we'll start with some gentle rotations. So the movements are yours. I'm going to look different to you as I move. It really is your own expression. So we're moving slowly with the chin drawing some circles. Those circles don't need to be big, they can be quite small, just depends what feels comfortable. But what you're noticing is the sensations in the movement. It's like you're in your neck, you're in your face, you're in your jaw, and you're noticing, oh, it feels nice and spacious there, or it feels a little tense, feels a little clicky. And I invite you as much as possible to just notice those sensations without judging or analysing or trying to change them. And then we can take those circles in the opposite direction. And you'll notice this is a bit of a different adventure going this way. So you might have a little more freedom here or a little more tension. We've been sitting for a little bit, so if you're uncomfortable, just feel free to change your position so that you're comfortable for this exercise. And next time the chin comes down, we're going to move into the shoulders. So it's sort of like wheels turning, and again, you know, your shoulder movement might be quite small at this moment. Oh, you could want to go a little bigger. So just working with your own body, and we're noticing how we're feeling, what sort of tension levels are there in the shoulders. Where's the freedom, where's the space? And we'll move those circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. I'm going to change the cross of my legs. Give the other side a little bit of attention, and then we're going to move the wrists. See if you can bring your attention into your fingertips. How do they feel right now? Are they cool? Are they warm? Are they tingly? Give those a little bit of a shake. And then we're bringing our hands to our knees or wherever they're comfortable. You want to kind of support yourself here. And we're a little bit like a spinning top. So we're gently moving the spine. So we're going to the left, forward, so the chest comes forward, side bend to the right, and then we curl in. So in this position, our chin and our pubic bone are moving towards the belly. We move again to the left, the belly button and the chest come forward, we move to the right, and then back. And you're noticing here, how's your spine? How's your belly? How does this movement feel in the moment? You might be feeling a little stiffness, and that's okay. So this is like ironing out the creases, the internal creases. Beautiful. Coming back to the center, and then we're just going to bring the arms out beside us. Now you might like to have one hand on the shoulder, or if it's comfortable for you, you can reach that arm right up, and we gently start to walk the fingertips out to the side, looking over or under really your right arm. And we want to try and anchor this right hip down. That sitting bone wants to stay down. And allow your attention to draw up to this upper chest area here. So maybe on your next breath in, that area can feel that breath. Coming down, and we'll go to the other side. Nice natural breath. And again, seeing if you can bring a little bit of love into this upper chest area. And coming back down. And I'm just going to turn to the side, this next one. You can have your feet forward. And then the arms come back behind you. So we're drawing the chest up here. So we're really opening up through the front of the chest. Good. Coming back to neutral. Now I'd like to invite you to come into a tabletop position. So this is on your hands and knees. So you might need a little bit of support under your knees here. If this position is not comfortable, you could be on your elbows instead. So say you don't want to put pressure in your wrists, you can be like this. Or you can do it standing up too. So I'm going to show you the tabletop position variation. So we're lengthening, and that's lengthening the front body, and then we're lengthening the back body. Now this movement is coming from the center of the body, then to the extremities. So the head and the pelvis are really last. So we're kind of initiating that movement from the belly button. And we want to keep it quite fluid, so you feel more like water moving, not so much like sharp edges. And then from here, we're going to sit back towards our heels and support our head with our hands. So you can make fists with your hands, rest your head. You might like to bring the toes in and come right down if that feels appropriate for you. And by all means, if your head can comfortably rest on the floor. So this is a child's pose now. Now I invite you to take that pose anytime you need to throughout the practice. From here, we'll go back to that tabletop position and we'll tuck the toes. You can either sit back towards your heels, this is a puppy pose, or we can lift up through the hips and come into a downward dog. So we're looking up at the belly, my knees are a little bit bent, and then just walk your heels up and down nice and slowly. You can get a feel for your calves. How are they feeling in this moment? And then looking forward, we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. Knees are nice and soft. We're rolling upright. So I'd like to walk you through a little sun salute now. So we're going to bring our feet about hip width apart. And the arms can come up, or if that's not comfortable, bring the arms forward. The main thing is that you're feeling from the middle of the back through to the fingertips. So arms are reaching up. And then we'll bring our hands together, bend the knees, folding down. Place the hands on the thighs, lengthening the front body, just like we did in the tabletop. Curling, so we're lengthening the back body. Then placing the hands down, bring one knee back at a time, one leg back at a time, lengthening the front body. Exhale, lengthening the back body, sitting back into child's pose. Stay there or tuck the toes, move into a downward dog. And we can walk the feet up towards the hands, rolling up. Beautiful. We'll bring those arms up again, gazing up if that's comfortable, or remember the arms might be forward. Lowering the hands to the thighs, inhaling, looking up, curling, releasing the hands down to the floor. Step back with the other leg this time into your tabletop. Lengthen the front body, lengthen the back body. Sitting back to your child's pose. Stay here or tuck the toes, downward dog. Just remembering to breathe here. Walking your feet up towards your hands and roll up slowly. We'll do one more of those. In breath, folding down, knees are soft, hands to the thighs, looking up, curling the spine, releasing the hands down, coming back to this tabletop. And we'll arc and curl before we sit back on our heels. And we might be coming to our downward dog. walking feet up towards the hands. And we'll reach the arms up. Beautiful. And come down. This is where you might like to have a little support for balance. So we're going to bring our weight into our left leg, find our gaze staring somewhere steady and unmoving, and we're turning out with the right hip. So this is our beginning variation. Now I like to have a little micro bend in this left knee. If this feels okay, bring the right foot into the calf. You notice I'm not using my hand to bring that foot in. So we want to squeeze the foot into the calf. They're giving each other a nice hug. Lucky things. And for those of you who feel comfortable here, you could bring that foot up a little higher, just above the knee. It's important not to place it on the knee joint, but above, so it's got some flesh. Now this is a tree pose, so you might like to bring your arms up and imagine that you're your favourite tree right now. Trees are strong and steady and resilient. They're flexible and strong and grounded at the same time. So we're bringing our hands back through the centre and lower down. Arms down. Bring our weight into the right leg. We turn this left thigh out and we might stay here. I've got a little micro bend in that right knee and I'm steadying my eyes somewhere focused on the floor, somewhere unmoving, and then we're bringing this foot in. So you might notice a difference on this side. It helps to really feel your balancing foot and to squeeze the foot and the calf together. Good, and then if that feels okay, you bring it up a little higher. And you might want to bring the arms up or out. Little twinkle of leaves with your fingers. Beautiful. Bringing the hands back in. And rotate that. Coming down. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Bringing the feet about hip width apart. And then we're going to come into a chair pose. So we're bending the knees. The arms are coming forward. So it's like you're sitting down in a chair. I'll just turn to the side. Steady on your feet. Dropping the sitting bones down. You could bring your arms a little higher if that feels okay. It's like your chest is really drawing up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Then, coming up, bring this right leg back onto the ball of the foot. So we're going to be bending both knees. Start off with quite a narrow stance, and then if it feels okay, you can go deeper. Here, it's important to feel that resistance. So you're engaging through your glutes, engaging through the legs and dropping down. I'm going to bring the arms forward. Open up through this right arm, gazing over the right shoulder. Nice big breath. Bring that arm forward. And then the left arm. Let's come out again with that right arm. Rotate right around so we're in a wide-legged stance, shifting the hips from side to side, putting our hands on the thighs. So we're sort of pushing down on the thighs. At the same time, we're drawing up through the middle of the body. Rotate now towards the right. So we find our stance here. Reaching the arms forward. We've got an engagement through this glute. We're drawing up through the midline of the body. Bringing the left arm out, nice big open hug. Beautiful, bringing that in. And then the right arm. And coming back around. We'll open up again here. This time just move from side to side. You're almost straightening the right leg here and the left. Come back to center. You might like to bring your arms up or forward. If it's feeling a bit intense, just lifting up the corners of your mouth helps a little. Breathing out. And then we're turning the toes in. We're going to fold down. You could stay here with the hands on the thighs, knees are soft, or you can come all the way down. Beautiful, rolling up and heel and toe your feet towards each other. So then we'll step out wide again. This time we're turning our right foot out and our left thigh is rotating slightly in. And we're going to bend that right knee and push the feet in opposite directions into the mat, just reaching out through the arms, twinkling our fingers so we can really feel our fingers and our arms and our body in space. Now just keep looking over that right shoulder, keep pressing down through the feet. And if you feel steady there, you could lean towards the right. And you might even like to look then over that left shoulder. Beautiful, coming up. Keep that same position, but shift your hips a little towards the right. Turn the right palm up, reaching back through that left arm. And if that feels okay, you might like to reach the right arm up now and look up. Bringing that right arm down, reach out again, and now bend that right knee. So this is called Warrior Two. We've got really steady feet, and you can just feel that foundation of your feet. Remembering your stance could be narrower, your knee could be a little less bent. You might have your hands on the hips instead. Beautiful, straighten that right leg. Turn the right thigh in and the left thigh out. Twinkling our fingers and feeling into our feet. So feel the texture underneath your feet, pushing your feet into the mat in opposite directions, like they're moving this way. And then we start to lean towards the left. Our knees are a little soft, particularly this left one. And for those of you that feel okay with that, keep leaning. You might even like to look over that right shoulder. If you feel tense through your neck, adjust. So you want to feel free. And then coming up. We want to tilt that left hip up, left arm up now. Or it could be out here. And then into Warrior Two. Beautiful, looking over that left shoulder. Good, and straightening up. Just bring your feet back together. Give that all a little bit of a shake. So we'll have our feet out, hip width apart. Toes slightly narrower than the heels. And we're going to start to lean forward. Our knees are soft. So it's sort of like you're peering over the edge of a lake, looking in. Beautiful. And if that feels okay, you might want to keep going, folding forward. Knees are soft. And if that feels okay, you might want to just curl your chin in and reach the arms down. If you've come down, you want to come slowly up. We'll come back to that halfway mark. And then rolling all the way up. Bringing the feet towards each other. Doing a little salute to come down, so reaching the arms up. Folding down. Hands to the thighs, gazing up. Curling in. And come all the way down. I'm going to turn around to face you for a moment. So you might want to use your blankets now to support your seat. And we'll start with the knees bent. So I'm going to lean into my thighs. And I'm going to keep my torso on my thighs as I start to move down. So we want to avoid this movement. We want to keep the knees bent. And just be meeting, we're hugging our own body here. So then we just slide the feet forward, and when you start to feel a sense of stretch, a sense of activation, then you can just curl your head in. Let your arms be passive and just breathe in here. And rolling up. Could also be sitting in your chair in that one. Then we're going to roll onto our backs. So you could roll to your side first if that felt okay for you. So just finding your feet on the floor, knees and hips, or knees and feet are hip width apart. Let's take a moment here. So we'll bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. And we're going to check in with how we're feeling. Perhaps you feel a little warmer in some areas. You might feel some blood flow. Let's take a breath out. Through the mouth just helps to release any tension. Good. So keeping that left leg as it is, we start to draw our right thigh towards us. And we'll flex our right foot. If this feels okay, you might like to then extend that left leg, and you're flexing the left foot just like it's pressing into a wall, drawing this right thigh back. And you can stay here, or if that feels okay, you can hold on to the back of the thigh. So you're not changing that leg being close to your belly. You've got it there, and you're just starting to extend that right leg. And it's only to the point where you start to feel, oh yeah, there's some sort of action going on there. So if you feel that back here, you stay here and just breathe into it. Beautiful. And if you've extended, we'll bend that leg again and also bring this foot back down. Holding onto the shin now, the left arm's out to the side. We start to bring this right thigh out to the side, but we don't want to roll over with it like that. So we just bring that out to the side. If that feels okay, you could straighten that left leg. And you might like to look over your left shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. Then we'll swap the hand that's on the leg. So the right arm comes out to the side, and then we're going to bring this one across the body. Doesn't have to be far. Just remember to notice if you've got any tension in your neck or you're gritting your teeth. So if you're doing that, just relax, take a breath out, and take a break if you need it. Beautiful, calming back to center. I was enjoying that one a bit much. So then we place the feet down on the floor and we go to the other side. So we have the left leg, and you'll notice that there's a difference between the sides. We don't need to find meaning in that, just noticing what's going on for us today. What's the lay of the land in our bodies today. So we'll extend that right leg now. Remembering you can always keep both legs bent. And if that feels okay, you might like to keep drawing that thigh towards you and then start to extend. And notice where you do feel that sense of resistance or where you feel the activity in your body. Where is it? Notice where it is and what it feels like. And then we'll just hold the shin. You can bring that right foot back in, bring the right arm out to the side, and we start to bring this leg out, looking over the right shoulder. Maybe extending that right leg, and remember we're trying not to topple over with it. So we want to stay grounded in our sitting bone, in our leg. Coming back to center, and then we're holding on with the opposite hand, our left arm's going out to the side, and we're bringing this leg towards the right, gazing over the left shoulder. Beautiful, coming back to the center. Give both those legs a little bit of a shake, just notice how they feel. And we're going to roll over onto our sides. And coming onto our tummies, if you want to, you can also stay standing and use a wall instead. So if it's not comfortable for you to be on your tummy. So, coming down, and just let your belly squish in there. Bring the hands in front, tops of the feet on the floor. So you could imagine that you're Superman here, maybe Supergirl, and Superwoman, which you probably already are. And then pop your feet down, really press your hands in, and we're broadening through your palms and your fingers, and it's like you're trying to grab the floor and kind of pull yourself in different directions. So you're pushing your palms in, pushing into the floor, and then also with the tops of the feet, you're pushing your tops of the feet into the floor and lengthening away from the center. Most important to breathe. So if you notice your breath is a little laboured, just relax a little bit. So relax the tongue, take away a little bit of the effort until your breath normalises. Taking a long breath out. Now you might like to stay here, or you can bring both arms and legs up at the same time, so you're flying even more here. And you can feel your belly on the mat. So it's expanding into the mat on your in-breath and moving away on the out-breath. So you're ebbing and flowing with this movement. And then we'll come down. Bring your hands underneath your forehead. Press your forehead into your hands. And now bring the arms out to the side. So it's like you're lying on your bed and you're trying to pull the sheets in towards you. So the palms are pressing down, you're lifting the kneecaps away from the floor, you've lifted your head and your chest, or you've rested your head on the floor. And for those of you who'd like to, you could reach up with your head, your chest, your arms out wide. Beautiful. Then bring the hands down beside you, the legs lower, and we'll move back into a child's pose. Gently back, supporting your head, or your head might feel comfortable on the floor with your arms beside you. In your child's pose, it's a place of retreat, so you can really feel your body starting to soften down into the earth, your gaze drawing inwards. Notice the tension starting to dissolve, perhaps really feeling into your skin and your tissues, letting that soften. We'll roll up slowly. Now we're going to set up for relaxation. So I'm going to grab a blanket. That's going to support my head. And a bolster under my knees, but you might use a rolled up blanket or towel. And I'm going to lie down. So I've just lifted up my chest, drawing the shoulder blades down. The palms are up. Thighs are starting to rotate out. It's important that you're comfortable. So if you're not comfortable lying down, find as many supports as you need. If you're not feeling well, then some extra supports in your upper back are helpful, or propping yourself up on a couch or in bed. So we're going to begin by pressing the body weight into the floor, really squishing everything in. And then letting all that go. A couple of breaths out through the mouth. And I invite you to keep your eyes open or closed. If they're open, you want to find somewhere that you can focus on, where your eyelids can be a little soft. So now we can take a journey through our body. And notice the sensations. So to begin with, noticing the sensation of weight throughout the body. How do you feel on the mat or the surface that you're lying on? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel light? If you feel floaty or that you're not in contact with the mat, I invite you to keep your eyes open, even to roll over to your side and to wriggle your fingers and toes. Now noticing how the shape of your body feels. Do you feel like you have a really clear outline? Or do you feel a little nebulous? Do you feel broad or narrow? If there's anywhere that you're holding obvious tension, just let that go. Start to notice the sensation of your skin. Where do you feel your skin? And what does it feel like? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it thin, thick, dry, fluid? And what do you notice on the interior of the body? Do you notice some movements, some shapes, some textures? And now finding a place in your body that feels really comfortable, really safe, like a sanctuary in this moment. And it can be anywhere in your body, and it will change each time you do this. So at the moment, I'm feeling really safe in the right side of my ribcage. It feels really warm and cozy there. So there's nothing strange in this. Whatever place and whatever sensations you're feeling that make you feel comfortable or safe, that's the place to draw your attention to right now. And if you're finding it difficult to locate a place that feels safe, just open your eyes, and if you have access to look outside, have a look outside at the sky, the trees, or have a look around the room. And you can come back and just see if that's changed for you. Once you've found that place, or you're gazing outside, just allow the body to begin to really soften and settle into the earth. Doesn't matter where you are, we're always connected with the earth. You might like to imagine lying down in your favourite place in nature, sitting in your favourite chair, or being at a place you've either seen or imagined. And just feeling your body settle, like chocolate melting in the sun. I'm going to be here for a few minutes. So now start to gently move your fingers and your toes. Give them a wriggle. Perhaps stretch your arms out in your body. Gently rolling to your side. Taking a few moments here to notice, how does your body feel? And I invite you to come up to sitting. And thanks for joining me. See you next time. My name's Thaedra. My website is www.thaedra.com.au, And I also invite you to visit my Instagram at Thaedra_. Thank you.
Right on, Thaedra. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share that with us. I know for myself, I love yoga and anything that's in that kind of mindfulness realm, and I really enjoyed getting amongst that. So such a great thing to do at any time really during the day, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely, Tom. So if you did enjoy what you just saw and you want to see some more of Thaedra, just once again, go over to all of her social media handles. Thaedra_ is on Instagram, or just Google Thaedra Frangos. She's quite a multi-talented person as well in that mindfulness realm. All right, mate. Well, listen, you enjoy your night, and I will do the same.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.